So in today's session, we are going to count the total number of positive yes values in the data set. So basically what I'm trying to say is, let's say if we have these many columns, if you see there are too many columns which has got the values in the form of yes or no. For example, brand information was provided where you ask for the product need, where you shown any other options, right? Where you told about the product benefit. So there are too many questions. I think around 36 questions are there, 37 questions are there, which has got these answers which are in the form of yes or no. Now, if you try to think, these are very important questions that tells you about the overall experience provided to the customer by the style advisor. So what we will do is we will count the number of yes values, okay, and we will create a new column out of this. So we will create a new column which is called as positive, all positive yes count, okay. So this positive yes count column will give us the total number of yes values, and the count of it will obviously reflect in that new column row wise, okay. And then we will try to make the graph out of this. If you have understood, great. If you are not understood, no worries. I think I'll show you, okay. It's very easy. So first thing that we have to do is we have to make some changes in the data set. We have to create a new column. So for that, click on the transform data button so that you will be moved to the Power Query editor. The next thing that you need to do is you need to create a new column. How do we create a new column? There is a ribbon add column. So you need to click on this ribbon add column, okay. Now there is one thing, okay, that we have to do. After you click on the add column, we'll need a formula, okay. So obviously so after you create a add column, click on the custom column, okay. So obviously I've created a custom column. After you click on custom column, now you need to uh, mention the column name, that is positive yes count, okay. Now we need a formula. Now this formula should calculate the total number of yes for all the columns wherein the yes value is making sense. So how do we do that? For that you need to, and then we need a formula. How do we get the formula? Just copy all the names that belongs to, just copy all the column names which has got yes or no values. I think around 37 columns are there which has got these names, okay. Now there are two ways to create a formula. For this you need to know M language, right? So at this point of time I would not be able to give you teach you M language directly. So if you know that, you will understand the formula. If not, uh, as a workaround, obviously later on we will be learning language as well. However, at this point of time, as a workaround, what we'll do, I'll tell you how do we get the formula. Even if you do not know, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT and get the formula. What should we mention? I will share the column names which has got yes or no values. Please create a formula in Power Query to create a new column and have the count of total number of positive yes. Okay, let me just correct it. So if you do not know Power Query, you can use the tools like ChatGPT and get the formula straight away. You see the command that I mentioned. I will share the column names which has got yes or no values. Please create a new column which is positive yes count and have the count of total number of positive yes. I'll mention yes as capital Y because in the data set we have capital yes, so it is case sensitive, right? In the new column and in Power Query, if you are okay, I will share the list of columns. So I have given the instructions. Let's hit the enter button. Yes, please share the list of columns. Not now. What we will try? We will try to share the list of all the columns. So these are the columns that we had. Around 37 columns are there. So I have shared the list. Now hopefully you will get the formula. Okay, as I said earlier that we do not need to get into how do we create this formula using this query because we'll have a separate sessions for the query. Okay, at this point of time you can get this formula using the AI tools. If you do not know, if you know this, you'll understand this formula. Okay, now let's try to run this formula and see what happens. Okay, so now as you can see with this formula we have got the values for total positive yes count. Okay, now we will obviously use this count. So 22, I think around how many rows were there? 37 values were there, out of which 22 33. So these are the positive yes count received. Okay, so let's do one thing. We will click click on close and apply and move to the Power BI desktop. So I'll click on this close and apply button and then we'll move to the Power BI desktop. All right, now we'll create a very simple visual that will give us the clarity on the number of positive yes or whatever it is. So for that, first of all we have to drag the visual. Let's say I want to drag this one simple visual, that is this stack chart. Just 1 minute, still loading. Okay, so now we are dragging this, we are pulling this stack column chart in the reports page, in this report page. So now let's have this stack column chart here. What we need is two things. One is we need let's say we want to zone wise we want to analyze. So I'll click on the zone, I'll find zone, select it, and second thing that I need is a positive yes count, which is a column that I have created. So I'll list positive, is it there? The positive yes count, I think I misspelled it. So yes, positive yes count, this is the column, and I will select this column as well. I want this column in the y-axis. Okay, so as we can see, and also let's have the zone column in the legend field so that we know for different regions how is the data reflecting. Okay, now this is what we are getting. Now let's have the count as well. Okay, so I mean, so value should reflect here so that we understand what is the exact count. So I'll just click on this format visual and I just need actually here data labels I need, right? So I just clicked on the data labels. Let me just uh, make the values to 12 so that it looks better. So now we will know what is the count, right? Okay, we'll do the formatting later. Okay, now tell me one thing. So just by having a look at it, this gives us the values 19, 18, 17, 7, but I don't think this is the correct count, right? Let's click here. All right, so it is giving me the count, but I don't want the count, I want the sum. Okay, but why is the count reflecting? There must be some problem. I'll tell you what the problem is. Okay, let's go back to the Power Query. I'll tell you what the problem is, or you can also try to tell me. Just let's go to the Power Query. So I'll just click on the transform data, and now we will find a problem here. So let me tell you, there is some problem with the column that we have newly created. Okay, have a look at this newly created column. If you see the data type, that tells us ABC123. Okay, that means text as well as numbers, but what we have in this column is a new number. So it's important that so this tells us how important to ensure that we mention the correct data type. So for this one it should be whole number, so I'll make this whole number. And as you can see, this has been completed now after we make this data type correction, you will see how that issue would get resolved in here. Okay, let's see. As you can see now let's find out the sum. Okay, because earlier we were not able to find the sum, we were able to find only the count. Okay, now as we can see, the sum is reflecting, which has the total positive yes count region zone wise. So north has got 523, 431, 416, and east has got just 178. It looks that there is so much of issue with the performance of east, and north is at the top, and there is a huge difference between these two also. But is that a correct count? Is that a fair count? No, I'll tell you why. Because the number of rows for north region are high, so we need to find the average to make the sense out of this. So how do we do that? You just click on this small button of arrow, and rather than sum we need average. This will give you the exact picture. Okay, now if we calculate the average, we can see that now this is making some sense. Okay, north has got still north is at the top. Okay, 27.53 average, and south is at the bottom, and earlier if you see, east was at the bottom. Okay, so that is how difference it makes. Now we are analyzing this data based on the zone wise. We are analyzing this data. Let's say we want to analyze the same data based on the state. So what I will do, I will select state, and in this below this x-axis I will put it here. Okay, now pay attention what will happen. Okay, after I put this, you see this is coming, this is a drill down feature, that is we can further drill this down. Okay, now like the same way we can still again analyze the data based on the city. So again I will search for city and have this city below this state option. Okay, now we can see we have kind of an hierarchy. Zone, that is zone is east west. Okay, state, and then city. Now if you click on this data, expand all down one level in the hierarchy, then let's see what happens. Okay, it is expanding and it is giving us the values. So it is telling us key from east, west, north, whatever is the region, and it is giving us the states. Okay, which is the highest performing state? Orissa. Which is the worst performing state? That is Assam. Now let's say we want to analyze the same data with let's say location wise, that is city wise. Okay, so what I will do, I will further expand to the next level. Let's see what happens. Okay, now I'm getting the data. It looks very bad, I know, but still I think we are still we can see that Guwahati is at the bottom and the city Bhubaneswar is at the top. Okay, let's do it differently. Now let's keep this click on this arrow or drill up arrow button. Okay, again, so earlier last time we had clicked on this expand all down one level in hierarchy. Now what we will do, we will click on this button, go to the next level in the hierarchy. Okay, so I'll click on this button, and now you can see that regions are not reflecting. Earlier what was happening, Orissa was reflected, and along with Orissa it was telling us that it belongs to east, but that is not required. We can already see that using this legend, right? So Orissa is at the top with the score of 35. Now further if we want to drill it down, what we will do, again we will click on this button, and now we can see that Bhubaneswar is at the top with 35, and Guwahati is at the bottom. And we can see that the cities that belongs to east, 1 2 3 4 cities are there. Okay, one of them is at the top, but other two are at the bottom for east. Whereas when we talk about north, you can see these are the cities mostly doing well. Okay, except this one. So when it comes to north, only Guwahati is making a mess, others are doing fine. Okay, all right. Like this, we can analyze the data and have the insights that we can share with the business. Okay, this is how the data analysis works. You tell them what is exactly happening, where is the problem. Okay, based on these insights. So I think I'll just keep this. I mean, in whichever way you want, you can filter this. Okay, if you want to keep this state wise, you can do that. I'll keep this state wise, and we'll tell them that East Orissa is at the top, and Assam is doing better. Okay. Also, one more thing, if you see, I want to tell you guys. Okay, now this business is all about the fashion advisor and the fashion tips, right? And the business user experience, customer experience, right? So it's important that in the tier 1 cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, they should do well. Let's see what exactly is happening when it comes to tier 1 cities of India. Okay, so if you see, um, okay, later on I'll make it little bigger, but for now let's just have a look. Mumbai is here. Okay, this is Mumbai with 23. Then we have Hyderabad, Bangalore is here. Okay, and Delhi is here. So if you see this pattern, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, these are all tier 1 cities, but are they really doing good? No. Tier 1 cities ideally should do well for the organization to do better, but like these are falling under the below average performance reviews when it comes to total number of positive yes or creating a positive experience. That tells us about the business that the tier 1 cities are not really doing well. In fact, they are average or below average. Okay, this is something where improvement is required, because majority of the customer base, considering the business brand, belongs to these tier 1 cities. So this is something that needs, we'll have to highlight as a part of improvement to the management. Okay, I hope this has give you, some idea about how it works. Okay, and in the next session we will be creating a dashboard out of these visualizations. Thank you for watching.